What's everybody, Shane here, and today I made a working ski hill. Welcome back. So this is really loud. I'm gonna turn it off first. Oh no, somebody fell down. So I made a working ski hill. Now this model is actually by JK Brickworks. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him on YouTube. I think he does shorts on YouTube maybe. But anyways, he's on Instagram. He's got his own website. He's on Rebrickable. So he designed this whole thing and he has so many just amazing, cool, moving things he's made. He's made trains that are suspended. He made this like looping car thing that kind of like walks. He made this. Again, very, very cool. So if you want to buy this, you can do it a couple different ways. You can go on to Rebrickable and buy just the plans on there. That's what I did. And I think they were $12 maybe, somewhere around there. And then you can just either use all your own parts or go to Bricklink and buy the parts you need. Or you can go to his website and buy directly from him, and it comes with the instructions plus the entire kit minus the electronics, and you can then build it. And it's all original Lego as far as I think he sells. It's all real Lego, so it is gonna be a little more expensive to do that, but that's probably the way to go if you don't have parts laying around. So for me, I went on to Rebrickable, and even without buying it, you can see the inventory. So I just went ahead and printed that out, took it to the Lego room, went to all my bins, and started pulling parts. So some of like the grays I have, a few of them are old gray. I try to use as much new gray as I can, but inside there's definitely a bunch of old gray because I just wanted to use it up. So I had no big issue there. So then once I took inventory of what I have and I marked it off, put it in just a big gallon Ziploc bag, I took that list, transferred over to a wanted list on Bricklink, filled in all of the parts that I had, and then put an order in on Bricklink and was able to get it. I think it took me maybe 2 different people, maybe 3, to actually get all the parts. I had a ton of things, but some of the real odd things I didn't quite have are some of the larger white plates. These round 8x8 modified tiles are a little bit on the expensive side because they're a little more rare. I think they were maybe like a couple bucks a piece. Thankfully I had one, so I only needed to order one. Also doing this will not ruin them, but you're definitely not using them for anything else because they get extremely scratched up in this kit. So just kind of be aware that whatever you buy, it's going to get scratched up because there's a lot of friction here between these turning. Then you've got the skiers going up and down the hill on the tiles, and then they're going down the top of the plates, around on these discs again. So there is a bit of wear and tear to this, and it is a little bit finicky to put together. It was definitely a fun build. Definitely took some time to get everything right. Because it is a little bit bigger than a build plate. I think if he could have fit this on a 16x32 build plate, it probably would have been a little bit easier because then that would have been like one solid plate, but this is made up of multiple plates on the bottom to make it as big as it is. It definitely would not be as detailed, so I really do appreciate the detailing on the sides here. You've got the K for like a Yeti. I have a Yeti on my wanted list for Bricklink, but I cannot find one for a good price yet. So at least not from the stores that I normally shop from. I'm not going to shop from a store just for one minifigure. So I'm waiting to see if I can get that at some point. But yeah, there's a lot of detailing on both sides, the top, the bottom, the little trees that are on here, kind of like little pine trees. Very cool. I did order some of the little parts in white so that I could snow top some of them, or maybe mix some white in there, make it look like there's some snow on the trees. I think that would be kind of cool. Now, to power this, I am using a third-party Technic Power Functions M motor. I bought a third-party one just because there's no reason to use a regular one for this, and I didn't actually have any, so I just bought this really cheaply on eBay. Literally, they're a few dollars, so if you need to get a motor for cheap and easy, do that. I already had the IR receiver, the motor, or the battery pack, and the controller from some of the older train sets that I have. I have since switched all of my trains over to powered up using the Bluetooth modules and Pybrick, so I can run like dual motors and some of them and whatnot. So I have a few of these left over and easily could throw one right onto this and be off to the races of getting this thing powered up. Again, it's a little finicky to put together because this whole entire top portion here can be raised and lowered, okay? Now you do this depending on how easy it is for your figures to make it down the hill. I think this should have been made a little taller because even at the highest setting, I have to put on a little bit of an angle in order to get this to run really reliably. But if I put this on a perfectly level surface, the figures do not make it down all the way. And I'm trying to work out with him kind of what that's from. We're not sure if it's just because of the plates that I'm using or what I've done, but there's something a little bit off about it, which is why they're not making it down all the way. But if I put it up most of the way, and again, this whole back platform raises and lowers because these two ramps kind of slot into the top platform. If I put it up, they make it down fairly easily. I probably could do it at the lowest setting and try to do full height minifigures. These all have short legs because full height ones for me were just falling right off. So just tumbling down because they're so top heavy. So I think if I put this on a nice flat surface, put this all the way down and try again, maybe I could get them to work a little bit better. But as of right now, I was struggling with that. Also on the back here, if you don't want to motorize it, there is a little hand crank that you can also make. It's just 3 parts, I think, or 2 parts even. So you can just hook up the hand crank and then just go ahead and run it by yourself. If your kids just want to play with it that way would reduce the motor and having all this set up. They could just kind of crank it, play with it as they wanted. It's the quietest way to do it. But he actually is powering it with, I forget the name of the little brick, but they're fairly cheap. They're Bluetooth. They have a gearing to them, and they're rechargeable, or it's 2 parts. Can't remember exactly what it is, but I'll definitely put a thing here so you guys can see what it is. I definitely think I want to purchase some of those and try them out. I'm not quite ready to put this away with the Christmas decorations yet because I do want to try that out on it. I'm also curious about the sound because, again, let's take a listen to how loud this thing is. So this is at full tilt. Also doesn't help that we are on my plastic table, which just echoes sound through the office. So that's always kind of tough. So as a quick kind of overview of this, you have an idler wheel down here, okay, and then this one up here is what's powered. And that is what rotates, okay, and brings up the people using just some, I think these are the skeleton feet, or no, it's a bar element with the candlestick bottom to it there. That is what grabs onto the skiers and pulls them up to the top. So these are just some wheels with some dishes on there. And then you have a rolling plate down here, which uses a bunch of gears across the bottom to be able to rotate that. And then up here, you have another set of complicated gears that spins this one as well. They spin the same rate, which then brings your figure up here, brings them around, and they come down. Once they hit this plate, then they're pushed right to here, and then as this turns, it grabs onto them and starts pulling them up, which is pretty cool. Let's take a look inside now so you see what it looks like. So here's kind of from the bottom of the ski hill, and you see there's a bunch of these big gears here on the bottom, going up to these gears, going into here, and this whole bit, if we go ahead and rotate this out, has some teethed 1x4s on here that all interface with various gears in here to be able to raise and lower down. You can see there's a lot of gears. So this is one function right here to raise and lower. And then the other function is the actually spinning here, which translates through and down to here. And it came loose. There we go. Oop, I'm on an angle there. There we go. So you see how that kind of just works, translates from all the way down to here to this plate here so that it spins. So lots of gears, lots of Technic things in here to make it work. Very, very cool structure on how it's built. So you just have to take your time and you can get it done. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this little project. I thought this was super fun. My wife kind of wasn't expecting it. She's like, I just saw this on Instagram like 2 weeks ago and now you've had it made. I was like, well, about that. So yeah, super fun to make. Hope you guys make one too. If you do, let me know, comment down below. And I'd love to see how yours came out. If you had any issues with this, make sure also if you make it, post a make on Rubricable for him just to kind of show how it's working for you. You can also leave a review kind of it so other people can get some insight into what's working for you as well. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll see y'all next time. Happy building.